Hey guys, it's Bobby. I wanted to talk a little bit about the class because I'm getting very nervous. And my nervousness is coming from the fact that nobody's asked me any questions about the video I put up, which is a mock client, me. Um, but you should have lots of questions. There's lots of things that if you were looking at the psychosocial, doing, you would be still wanting to know about the client. And so I'm concerned because nobody's asking questions. So start looking at it. I said I uploaded a couple copies of samples of psychosocials that you need to do. You need to do that psychosocial on the client. So let me tell you about step 2. So first of all, you get the client, you ask all kinds of information. The client tells you all about their life, and they talk about their medical background and what drugs they did and what drugs they do now and the impact it's having on their life. And then you come up with a list of problems that are facing the client. Now, it's helpful if you can come up with a list of problems that the client is facing that the client agrees with, but they don't always have to be that way. So, for instance, if I see somebody's alcohol use is problematic and they see it only as being like somebody's bugging them about stopping to drink, I can say the client appears to be in denial about the level of drinking and its impact on his life. The client doesn't have to like that part, but what it is, it's a way of me being able to identify what it is that I see as a licensed clinician. I can do that. It's my job to be able to help the client figure out what are some of the problems I see, and then try to be able to team up with the client to have the client work on those problems. And what they want when you do these things is they want you to identify all problems, even if they're not ones you're going to treat. So, for instance, I have high blood pressure. That would be a problem you identify on the problem list. And I'm going to make a problem list up today and send it to you. But a problem list is like, this is the name of the problem, this is the problem in the client terms, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And this is what would be how it's going to be dealt with. So the client problem in patient terms is very important. It's very, very, when they look at like Joint Commission and health accreditation surveys, they always want to look at, is the client involved in the formation of their treatment plan? And so you really, as often as possible, want to get client quotes. So if the problem is high blood pressure, and then the patient's statement is, I've had a high blood pressure for 10 years, and then the third place is how it's going to be dealt with, we're not going to deal with that because that's not what we do. But we are going to be able to make sure that the client signs a release so that we can contact the doctor to let the doctor know the person's in treatment who's monitoring the blood pressure. And we're going to ask questions like, are you taking your medication? So that would be something that would be deferred, is referred out. It's not something we're going to deal with, but it is a problem that exists, and so you have to list it. But the client has my husband was not very happy with my behavior, and that's what forced me to go to treatment. So the problem is family dynamics. The patient's statement is that my husband wanted me to go to treatment, or he was going to want to separate, and then the intervention would be to have a family session. So I'm going to bring the client's husband in to have a session where we're going to talk about what's been going on in the relationship, and that's going to be part of how we begin to work on some of the problem areas. So usually it's a good idea to pick 2 or 3 things. You don't want to have anything you're going to pick up, even if the client's going to spend a long time in treatment. You don't want to pick up anything that's going to be if you pick it up, you don't want to say you're going to work on it for more than 30 days. This just generally, the 30-day mark is that's the time you stop and reassess and see how the client's doing and if they're making progress. Although you would be doing that on a weekly basis as well. So just kind of make a list of the problems that you think the mock client has, and then we're going to be doing some of this stuff together because we need to get this done, and I'll show you how to do problem lists. So I will do that next. Thanks. Bye.